Welcome to the Delmarva Almanac. Each week we connect you to the best of Delmarva. Like other almanacs, our aim is to tell you a little bit about our past, our present, and events in the near future. I'm your host, Dana Kester McKay. We'd like to introduce you to this year's Sophie Kerr Prize winner, Alex Vidiani. Sophie Kerr was a native of Denton, Maryland, and a graduate of Hood College who served as the managing editor of a magazine called Woman's Home Companion. She authored 23 novels and hundreds of short stories during the early to mid-20th century. You can still find many of her novels at online booksellers. For 48 years, Washington College in Chestertown has made use of a fund named for Sophie Kerr, which she endowed. Half of the income from the endowment supports visiting writers and student publications. The rest goes to the graduating senior who shows the most ability and promise as a writer. It is the largest literary award given to an undergraduate in the world. This year, the prize is for $62,900. That is larger than the Pulitzer Prize or the National Book Award. I recently interviewed Alex Vidiani by phone when I asked him about how he got interested in writing.
Well, I started off writing fiction in high school, and so that didn't go too well. So once I got to Washington, I enrolled in my first collegiate creative writing class, and after that I just switched entirely to poetry because I was so taken by the books we were reading and the other poets around me, especially my professors. If you keep writing every day, eventually it becomes second nature. So I can write pretty much anytime and anywhere. It's just more a matter of being struck by something. So I can be at work and be ringing somebody up at the cash register or something like that and just be hit all of a sudden and have to go and write something down really fast and go back to work. It's more about getting the thoughts down and then revising for me. I usually don't worry about revising until I get all the thoughts down that I need, and then I can go back and machete chop everything. It's like roughly hewing and then doing the finer details afterwards.
During his freshman year, Alex became interested in the powerful and emotionally driven poetry of visiting writer Nick Flynn. Alex says he wanted to have a similar effect on his audience while dealing with his own challenges in life: separation from his father, who now lives in France, and the tragic passing of a friend.
He writes elegies about his father and his mother. His mother committed suicide. His father, he was without a sixth resident or homeless. So his poetry is processing the emotions attributed to such things. I mean, they're pretty powerful emotions. They're hard to process. And I suppose I just wanted to do the same thing. I wanted to process my father's absence, so I wrote elegies about him, and I wanted to work through the emotions that surrounded my friend's suicide. I'd say I lean more towards lyrical poetry, although I am starting to get more into this narrative structure as a way to broaden my horizons, I suppose. And I think the poems I have right now fit into this elegiac lineage of American poetry. An elegy is a way to commemorate somebody who's lost, whether deceased or has left your life one way or another. So, in a way, my poems are conversations as well as not immortalizations, but a way to commemorate. I never really took it as a sign of courage. For me, it was necessary, I suppose, to tell these stories. And in them, it's me speaking, but it's only a part of me. So, like I said with the, hewing the stone and then doing the finer details later, I get all the emotions I need to. I make the poem usually wholly my views, and then afterwards I can pursue it more intellectually. I can step back a little bit and think, well, this is a poem. What do I need to do to make it good?
Alex prepared a portfolio of his work in order to apply for the Sophie Kerr Prize. He focused on expressions of loss, of masculinity, and how words can help connect us to each other. One of the reviewers said that there was almost enough for his first book in the collection. Included was the following poem, which Alex read for us.
Those Sunday afternoons. Sunday afternoons when I was a kid, my father would hand me his empty tumbler. The brown dregs of his whiskey burned my tongue, but I drank them anyway, in the kitchen where he couldn't see. There I would set the glass down and climb onto the counter, balancing to reach the Old Crow and bitters. If I fell, I learned to hide bruises. In this way, I learned from him, on Sundays like this, how to live with numbness. I poured as he showed me, 1 finger, 2 fingers, handing it back to him, hearing him say, "Got enough this time. Almost, kiddo," the whip sting of liquor on his breath.
You're listening to the Delmarva Almanac. I'm Dana Kester McCabe, and we're talking to poet Alex Vidiani. For anyone of any age dealing with grief and loss, Alex recommends writing as both an art and a form of catharsis.
It's a way to come to terms with it. I mean, you might not ever get over it, obviously. These aren't really things to get over, but you will be able to step back and view it from a different perspective, which helps you recover. I think I wrote in my introduction to my portfolio that my poems are stones to skip across the water. You throw it away and you're done with it. And it's a healing process.
This fall, Alex will enter the MFA program in poetry at the University of Maryland, where he's been awarded a teaching assistantship. He will also continue as the senior poetry reader for Cherry Tree, which is the new annual literary journal published by Washington College. Visit our website, delmarvaalmanac.com/arts, where you can find links to more about Alex and the Sophie Kerr Prize and the text of his poem, Those Sunday Afternoons. Well, that's all for this edition of the Delmarva Almanac. We'd like to thank our community partners, the Friends of Delmarva Public Radio, the Community Foundation of the Eastern Shore, and underwriters EatDrinkBuyArt.com for their help in bringing this program to you, our audience. Our theme music was provided by Brightside Studio. This show has been a Moonshell production. Thanks for listening. Until we meet again, may the rhythms and tides of Delmarva bring you good fortune.